And we are rolling. What is up, everybody? And welcome back to another episode of Sick Flicks with Dylan and Skip. I am your host, Skip Marazi. Glad to be here with our friend Dylan Farr after a week's absence. How are you, Dylan?
I am your autistic Spitfire Dylan Farr, and I am doing better.
Doing better. That's all we
Better.
can really say, right?
That's
Like,
that's when you're in recovery. That's all you can say. I'm doing better.
it's
I'm doing better.
I say to my new friend, who I love very much, Tracy, on a regular basis because I've been in that position, right? Like I've been in the process of recovery for years also, and that's the same thing you say. It's you just one day, you're just taking it one day. That's the best you can do, because tomorrow's got a whole lot of trouble that you can't deal with right now. To quote the Bible, or to misquote the Bible rather.
I
But you're like, yeah, next day.
it's not a program where you're like working towards a year or something. It's just
No,
one more day,
yeah, like that's the thing about recovery or
one day at a
being
time.
autistic or living life is that you have to live it one day at a time. You put your pant leg on, you put your second pant leg on, and then you just deal with what comes next. Make your plans, try to work towards goals, but you can only do it one step at a time. So, good for
Yep.
you, man.
Like tonight. Tonight I'm at the Toledo Funny Bone doing the Crumbly Cup.
You're doing the Crumbly Cup tonight. That's awesome. Guys, if you're in the Toledo area, check it out. Aaron Cosbale, who's a professor of comedy, who's also on the Cox and Space team, the writer and the voice actor for Richard Cox, he's going to be there too. So that's awesome. You guys will get to see each other.
Like I have a new joke about tornadoes.
Do you want to lay it on us currently, or do you want to wait till
Yeah,
the cup tonight?
I live in a trailer park.
Uh-huh.
I'm sorry. I live in a mobile home community.
Ah.
Yeah, where I come from, we like to put lipstick on our pigs. But my question is, I've been living in this trailer park for 12 years,
Mobile home
but
community.
I
Yes, sir.
still haven't had a tornado hit me.
Hmm. What do you think about that?
What what is going on? We just had a tornado touch down like 2 days ago. And just like Jewish Passover, it passed over us and went for the rich people.
Just like Santa Claus too, bro.
I guess you really got to know someone these days to be hit by a tornado. I did a lot of damage too. Tore up a couple ice skating rinks. I'm like, damn, even the weather doesn't like ice.
Bum 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 bum. Joke from
You
2026.
know, but I'm part of a society called TDS. We are the Tornado Deficiency Society.
Okay, gotcha.
We are addressing the racial injustices of the lack of tornadoes in white trash communities.
Oh God, slow clap. That Dylan Farr, the joke has so many layers.
I know. I figured it was a good joke, and
Oh God damn. Yeah, it just keeps you. You kept there's not one punchline on that joke. There's like eight of them, and they just keep building. Bravo, good sir. What you can tell.
it's a new one I did. Like I have another new one. I'm in recovery, and I go to a lot of meetings. And I gotta tell you, there's a big difference between AA meetings and NA meetings.
Really, what's the difference?
AA meetings are like eating at a fine steakhouse, getting a nice T-bone.
Hmm.
NA meetings are like getting that steak out of the trunk of a guy's car in a Meyer parking lot.
I mean, bro, you're not wrong though.
AA is like perusing a fine wine list,
Mm-hmm.
whereas NA is getting that box wine from the local gas station.
Yeah, exactly. The irony, of course, is that it is Alcoholics Anonymous that is browsing the list because they won't drink it, but they're allowed to look. Um,
That's
Uh,
kind of a hidden joke in there.
yeah, yeah,
I
it's
did
nice. It's
that.
nice. I wanted to. Yeah,
I did
I had to
that
do the.
purposely.
Yeah,
I did that purposely.
it's very tasteful, um, or distasteful, and that is why I love it. Um, yeah. So, guys, if you're new here, you're catching the stream because you just caught the Cox and Space trailer, and you've seen the first part of the first episode, which is the mystery must be penetrated, is where it ends. I invite you to come watch us. This is Sick Flicks with Dylan and Skip. We work on animation. I work on the animation, and then hang out with Dylan, and we talk about movies. And today we're going to be talking about one of my favorite movies, Everything, Everywhere, All at Once, the A24 film. And it's rated 7.7 on the IMDb, which means it's fairly well respected in the community. It came out March 24th of 2022. But before we did that, I wanted to say that first of all, Dylan, I'm glad that you brought this movie up because I had forgotten sort of that this is one of my favorite films, and we've been going over a bunch of your favorite films, and we happened to accidentally come across of one of my favorites. And so I was like, oh, cool, yes, let's absolutely review that. And then you're like, oh God, I've seen it twice, and there's just so much shit going on in this movie.
Yeah, I was like, my ADHD is going nuts.
It is
Like, I'm
definitely
trying to
overstimulating
focus on certain things
intentionally.
that would be overstimulating I have watched in a long time. And
Uh,
I watched the Beatles and Sergeant Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club
right,
Band.
right, 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 right. Yeah,
I am
Dylan
full
is
of
in recovery right now because he has done drugs. So it's not like it's like that sort of thing that you're not capable of understanding. But I will give you Everything, Everywhere, All at Once is a very strange movie, and is also one of the reasons why I love it so much. Um, the other reason that I love this movie so much is that I accidentally watched it on a plane traveling from some place to some other place, which I really can't even tell you what the journey was about. But it was the only movie that was on there that I had any interest in seeing at all, and I was like, yeah, I've been meaning to get around it. I think I probably saw it in 2024 or something like that. And I put it on, and this never happens to me. I was in a public place with headphones on, and there's certain points in this movie that I laughed out loud and could not stop myself because they surprised me so much. They gave me a reaction. And I'm a person, if you know me, that you will mostly when I'm in public, you'll get nothing from me because I'm trying not to like engage or upset the grand, especially on public transportation, right? Like you're trying not to like you're trying
yeah.
like not to upset other people's public experience, and so you're not drawing attention to yourself. So I'm not the person who's like, bah! But this movie got me. And so for me, it's one of the funniest movies that I've ever seen. I wouldn't say it's one of my favorite films, but I would say it's definitely on the list that I'm like, you have to see this movie. It is very, very funny. And so I'm glad that we happened upon it. And so that's why I want to take a quick deviation, if you don't mind, and talk about some of like my top five films because I finally figured it out after you listed off yours and you're like, I know which ones they are, and I was like, I don't know. I don't know if I know my top five films. This movie kind of triggered that for me. So are you? Do you want to know? Are you interested?
Yes, I'm actually interested to hear your top five.
Because give us yours real quick because I think it's a really interesting look into who you
My
are as a
number
person.
five has kind of dropped. Like, I'm like,
Lowest or
what
highest?
is my. I'm trying to
Like
figure
you're
out
talking about the
what my
fifth on the list
number
being
five.
that's the one that you
I'm
like
trying to
you
figure
love it but you
out
love it the
what
least.
my number. Yeah,
Okay,
like,
sorry for cutting over you like that. I am
my
very rude.
my number one is always Jaws.
Jaws, of course, right? Yeah,
Always
exactly.
Jaws.
And then
It
we
has
talked about it
always been
before.
Jaws.
The practical
And then
effects,
we have,
the horror that is off screen, the psychological part of that horror, the fun grittiness of the film, early Steven Spielberg. I think those are all the reasons that you said that you love Jaws, and that really says a
yeah.
lot about like why you love movies. So yeah, so thank you for setting the groundwork for us there. And then
And then Blazing Saddles.
right, the Mel Brooks comedy, which is kind of racial, but also it's done tongue in cheek and with an absolute love of the guy, so the racism is
It was
reversed.
done to make fun of racism.
Right, right. What a
That's
great
the
movie.
whole
Same,
point of the movie.
like
It was
it's
done. It was done to illustrate how stupid racists are.
100%. Tropic Thunder is the same thing, right? Like how racial stereotypes are really really fucking stupid. Um, and so like they're like cousin films. So yeah, Blazing Saddles absolutely respected your second movie because again, it shows like the type of
There,
things you love about movies.
Then we have Kung Fu Hustle.
Yes, which we reviewed, and the absolute silliness that cinema can have, and how Stephen Chow does that, because we
Yep.
did reviewed both those movies and that Shaolin Soccer.
Then we have Death to Smoochie.
Which you reviewed last week.
Classic.
Yeah, and again, we're talking about the character of Mopes, who has the biggest heart of gold you could ever want, and friendship saves the day in that movie.
Which is surprising because he was played by Edward
Right,
Norton.
yeah, exactly. And then also the high irony of everybody in that film, which we talked about in the last one. Not everyone steps up to, but it's a really fun concept to see them. Like if we could AI, act everyone and just use their faces, you have an absolutely perfect film, right? The reverse casting is so fantastic.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and I'm so pissed Robin Williams was nominated for a Razzie for that. He sold that role.
Oh my
He
God.
sold that
Well, and I think
role
it's
like
in a retrospect kind of thing, as we talked about, is that we know that Robin, like all the things that's going on, that like what his career looks like now, and I think it wasn't as clear because they were expecting a different type of Robin at that time. However, so okay,
yep.
so that was the fourth one, and then your fifth one, your used to be, um,
My name is Bruce,
oh, that's
but
right, which we have reviewed, but you're now feeling like it's more like
I'm gonna put it as Dog Soldiers.
interesting. Okay, you're talking about the werewolf movie, werewolf horror movie, Dog Soldiers.
Yes.
Okay, that's
Uh,
okay. Which okay, I
have
100%
you
because horror is you have a love of horror and a horror. There wasn't a horror movie on your list besides Jaws, which is more. It's not really a horror movie as much as it's a realistic monster movie, I guess. Kind of like Jurassic Park is kind of like a pseudo realistic monster movie. Um,
yeah, whereas Dog Soldiers is it was written, directed, and edited by Neil Marshall. And if you don't know who Neil Marshall is, um, he did. Let's see, The Descent, 2005's The
oh,
Descent.
okay, cool, cool.
Um, the science fiction action film Doomsday. The 2019 Hellboy with
Oh,
David
okay.
Harbour.
Yes, absolutely.
Huh.
Okay, so I got you. All those visual appeals. Okay, that's interesting. We should review Dog Soldiers, because it's actually a movie I
It's
haven't
one of
seen,
my favorites.
but have
I
not.
I can watch it over and over again.
And that's the sort of thing, like for me, when I was like, when I started thinking about favorite films, I was like, what are the movies that I would watch over and over and over again? That if you're like, let's watch these movies, I would do that. And it's interesting because it started to, I didn't realize this, but as I started thinking about them, uh, more and more, I was like, huh, that's interesting. I didn't believe that these movies defined me as a person. But check this out. So my top favorite movie is Cool Hand Luke. That if you said, let's watch Cool Hand Luke, and I'm gonna put you in a room and you're gonna watch Cool Hand Luke forever, I'd be like, hell yeah, that's fine. I'm okay with
Never
that.
seen it.
Oh my God, Paul Newman. It's a Paul Newman film. It has all the reasons that I love film. Is that it's all practical effects. The story is told through the characters' dialogue. A lot of the acting is allowed to happen, and the cameras just keep rolling. So they don't have like quick edits and stuff like that. So it feels very lifelike, like very stage-like. And then it has a fantastic story. It's the story of a man who chooses when he's beat, and when he's finished being beat, he's no longer beat anymore. And he chooses when he's going to give up, and then everything, like he takes life on the chin, because that's the best you can do in this life. Anyway, that's the philosophy of the film. I would love to review it with you. No,
Okay.
I'd love to see what you think about it. Cool and Luke is my absolute top favorite film. That's the Jaws spot for me. Second is actually Lars and the Real Girl. Have you ever seen that one?
No, I have not.
You
I've
haven't
been
seen
wanting to.
Lars and the Real Girl either? Oh my God. So this is the reason that I have a crush on Ryan Gosling, is that because the performance in this movie, he has a lot of great performances. I don't fault him for The Notebook. I think it was really important to his career to do that movie. But I have so many problems with the story of The Notebook because of the toxic relationship that the people have inside of it. Anyway, side commentary. But Lars and the Real Girl is about a guy who wants to be in love and doesn't know how to relate to people, and so he gets he gets a real girl, which is a full like size a doll that you have relations with.
Sex
Says
doll. Yeah.
whoa, guy, we're streaming on YouTube right now. Like, oh, I know you're
Sorry.
on Discord,
Sorry.
but we're streaming on YouTube right now. So yeah,
My
but
bad. My
he
bad.
said the segs because they were having the eggs for breakfast with sauce on them. Eggs. So no, but that's the type of doll
It's an
that
anatomically
people.
it's defined on Wikipedia as an anatomically correct Essex doll.
Yeah, from Essex, because that's the background that she has. But that's the thing. So he forms a relationship with this doll, in order to get himself in the mindset of being able to have a relationship with people. And it's to me the most beautiful love story. One of the most beautiful love stories that's been ever written, directed, and acted. It's an independent film with a lot of heart, and it pays off because they make their budget work for them. Because it's very, again, like Cool Hand Luke. A lot of the acting happens just as the camera rolls. They make sure that they have the framing and lighting correct, and they let the actors do their fucking work. To me, that's a big deal.
All
Like
right.
letting the actors like provide the drama for us, and not having to need other flash. Flash is fun, but if your actors can't carry it, then to me, I'm like, yeah. Anyway, so we should review that one at some point as well. I think that you will enjoy it for its heart. Um, the third on my list is a movie called Network. Have you ever seen Network?
No, I haven't. Let me look it up.
So this is a 1970s
We
film,
have
I
a
believe.
lot. We have a lot of stuff.
One of the things for me, like I'm like, hey, you haven't seen these movies, but I think you'll like these movies for the same reason that you like the movies that you do, is that they've got a lot of heart, they got a great story, they got great performances, it's practical effects, and if in all of these movies, good camera work. Um, So yeah, Network is just a really tight story about a man who is so depressed, a newscaster that he's so depressed that he wants to kill himself on air, and then by a happenstance and twist of fate, he actually becomes a really highly rated news show, and everybody wants him to be on the air, and he can't get off air if he wants to. And then all the forces. It's very satirical in the same way that Death to Smoochie is about the way that news networks work.
Okay.
Um, and so
It's
like it,
rated an 8.1 out of 10.
you see what I'm saying? Like, it's a very well respected film in the people who know about movies, and the general audience too. Like, to me, this is a movie that you don't have to be like a connoisseur to appreciate, because the performances across the board are just fantastic. Um,
Right.
Obviously, Jane Fonda is there. Peter Finch is another one. There's another really well known actor at the time who's doing the third role, and just. It'll blow you away. One of the things that Network does for me is it shows what you can do with stories in film, like what you can do with 2 hours. Because in my
All
opinion, you
right.
can Fast and Furious for 2 hours, which is a lot of racing cars, which is like a kid on the floor going broom broom, and then say Family Forever. That's the thing you can do with 2 hours. No fault to that. Or you can build a really, really intricate story with these people that deal with each other for 2 hours. And to me, that's it's like watching tea unfold, like the hot gossip in front of you. So yeah,
Okay.
highly recommended at some point. Yeah.
We have a new co-host.
Oh, really? We have another person who has joined. Hello, friend, and welcome. I am not.
This is Dippy.
Hi, Dip. This is so fantastic. I was unable to see that since I'm working on this window in particular, but that's fucking great. Um,
Yep. My cat decided to join us, so I turned on the video. I'm like, YouTubers love cats.
they do, of course, and they're also, my kitty has popped up and is sitting on my lap right now. Cutie. So follow us on wigbags.us if you want to see pictures of her more and get updates about everything that we do. Now, just so to take a commercial break. Check this out, though. So I'm just going to go over the last couple of mine, which is weird. Okay, so remember, okay, Cool and Luke is this really cool story about this man who can't be knocked down. Lars the Real Girl is about a guy who's misunderstood and he needs to relate to the world, and so he needs like a surrogate to do it. Network is about the dark irony of politics of like media and entertainment. And then the fourth movie on my list is Memento, which is a Christopher Nolan film, which I reviewed before. We'll probably won't review on this show. Have you seen Memento? Do you know what movie I'm talking about? It's about a man.
Is that with Robin Williams?
No, Christopher Nolan did a Robin Williams did a Christopher Nolan movie that's called Insomnia, which also has Al Pacino and is very fantastic. Guys, if you want to check it out, I actually did a full review on all of Christopher Nolan's movies on s1e6 earlier
Okay,
last
this
month.
is the one I'm thinking of. Okay,
It has Guy Pearce in it, and Carrie Ann Moss. And
okay.
this hands down is a movie that I have watched on repeat multiple times. Love this movie. There's some flaws with it, which I've discussed previously on the show, or on the show I did previous. But I just I love it because it's a man who there's a mystery that's going on, and it's about the unraveling of the story to get the mystery. You're rooting for the hero, even though he turns out to be kind of a villain. Um, and but he's done it to himself for a very interesting and what he believes to be a good reason. So it's so interesting to me that this character is. Hang on, let me give you the last one, and then I'll pull all the pieces together. Um, so the last one on the list, you've probably seen this, and you know exactly what movie it is when I mentioned it is Fight Club, because you've seen Fight Club, of course.
Yep.
Yeah.
The movie that ends with the flash of the BBC channel.
Um, what do you wait? What do you mean?
Um, Not BBC like the actual
Oh,
British Broadcasting
thank
Channel,
you.
but
Yes, exactly. Yeah, if you're the
it
type of
ends
person
with
who can
just
see
giant.
microseconds, yeah, you get flashed with a so like 100%.
Like, it's like, oh, we're at the end of the movie. Wait, what did
Well,
I
yeah.
just see?
Well, of course, you have to appreciate it because he calls out that that's what he does in movies. And so David Fincher, when he did the movie, of course, had to throw that shot, which when you mentioned it, like Jesus Christ, Dylan, because it gave me flashbacks because I've seen it a bunch of fucking times. Not on purpose, but that's just how the movie ends. The buildings are falling. There's a flash. All of a sudden, you see the BBC. Well, it isn't. It's just dark colored, but and then moving on. So I mean, and that movie really is about hyper toxic masculinity. So it is interesting that that was the choice they made. They're like, if you watch this movie and you're like, about it, you're gonna see this on a regular basis. Um, but like, so yeah, all those characters. Conan Luke's about a guy who is, standing up and choosing when he wants to fight. Lars and the Real Girl is a person who doesn't relate well to the world. Network is a man who is wanting to kill themselves in face of media, but gets killed by it. Memento is a man who creates his own mystery because he can't deal with being, alone. And then Fight Club is, of course, Fight Club, which is about toxic masculinity and how we have to fight it, and then also like what it does, right? So I was like, wow, the psychoanalysis of all the films I like, I'm like, Jesus Christ. I could say that because I'm praising his holy name on the streaming channel. Um,
Praise be to God.
yeah. But no, yeah, what do you
Sorry,
think?
I do go to church. So.
Well, so here's the thing: is that I bow respectfully to the force that is the entire universe, which I believe that most people do call God, and so, but also I don't believe that it minds that we say it in any kind of way because it's the force of love, and so the more that we love is the more that we are worshiping it, and the when we don't love is when we are blaspheming it, and beyond that
Yeah.
there are no rules. So. But anyway, that's just a segue. What do you think of my top five in comparison to your top five?
Your top five has a lot more high-rated films.
Oh, geez, I didn't. I didn't think about that. I'd never actually looked to see that comparison. Um, to me, I don't know. I do enjoy full quality about a film, right? Like when they have good cinematography, when they have a good soundtrack, when they have a great story. Um, like that's the stuff that gives me the man, this is really harder than I was thinking, but it erects the building in my pants is what I'm trying to say. uh,
You got a hard on for Brad Pitt too.
He doesn't impress me much, according to Shania Twain. Um, but what a dig. So, and I did say dig on Brad Pitt, but yeah. So those are. It's interesting. I think that we come from movies from like these different perspectives. This, to me, is why I think Sick Flicks with Dylan and Skip is an interesting comparison. I'm not saying that we're the Roger and Siskel and Ebert of films, but what I'm saying is that we do
No,
have
we're
like
the autistic Siskel and Ebert.
yeah, we're kind of an artistic system labor, but I think that we have really high contrast in the way that we view what makes a film fun, and I think that's what makes this review interesting. Because one of the things that when we were going into this one, you guys might think that this has nothing to do with the movie that I said that we're reviewing, just everything, everywhere, all at once, but it actually does. Because Dylan and I were talking before, and your response to this film was like, I don't know if I could even review this movie. There's quite a bit going on. And
There was so much going on. And then
yeah,
I just realized that was Short Round
that's what I was trying to
in
say
the
the last time.
movie. What
Yeah,
the fuck?
that's
He's
just like
all
he
grown
came
up.
back to do this movie. Yeah, and he's also. I mean, one of the things I love about this is it's Michelle Yao is the other actress in it who's she also did a fantastic role. She's done a bunch of stuff. She's been doing a bunch of stuff, but she's also done a fantastic dual role on Enterprise recently, which I just that's where I came in contact with her. I was like, God damn, this actress is fantastic. And so when I saw that she was doing this movie and all the different roles that she gets to play in this movie is really really fantastic. Um, and we can't not shout out the Scream Queen, who you and I love greatly from her work on Halloween, and then probably everything she's done afterwards because of that. Um,
Yep, Jamie Lee Curtis.
yeah, 100%. And like anytime I see the Jamie
One
Lee
of my
Curtis.
old school crushes at one
Yeah.
point.
Well, anytime I see she's going to be in a movie, one thing I love about Jamie Lee is that she has was very pretty. She was a very successful as a pretty young actress. She became a very like cultured actress. You can see in all of her films she works very hard. She plays a diversity of roles and she does them all well. She does pretty. She does smart. She does powerful. She does gentle, like broken people fantastic. She is, to me, you have to respect her not for her gender, but because she is a fantastic actor slash actress. Like her skills at acting are amazing. And I will say that about any Jamie Lee Curtis role I've ever seen. Is that you will get a fantastic performance regardless of the rest of the movie. So if I saw that she was in it on top of these
We do
other
have
two, and I
one
was like,
actor. There's one actor I cannot let us go without shouting out.
who's
He's
that?
been in the
Oh,
game
oh,
for a long
yes,
time.
please. Oh
A
my God.
459 credits on his
Holy shit. First of all, let me just say, I think that's the person with the highest IMDb that we've ever reviewed on this show. Because we give a lot of respect for people who've been working a lot of time. Like, you and I think, like,
James
recognize,
Hong.
yeah, how hard it is to work in the
James
industry.
fucking
And
Hong.
James Hong, who showed up in literally every movie in the 80s and 90s as the Asian old man. Um, is just
Yep.
yeah, so that he also came in and weighed in on this project and does a fantastic job at fucking 89 or something. He I mean like OG. You want to talk about OG. That man is the OG, and that they got him for this film. He does a great job. It's almost written perfectly for him. He just I mean he does some just
The
amazing
one that I
things.
remember him the most from was Big Trouble in Little China.
That's
It's
probably one of the
one of
most
my
iconic ones.
favorites. That is one of my favorite Kurt Russell
We
films.
do have to review that at some point too,
Um,
because actually, do you want to review that one next? Do you want to do Big Trouble in Little China next?
that would be fine.
Y-
I'd be down for that.
Absolutely, yeah. I love that film so much for its cheesy nostalgia, but also its quality in that
But
genre of like,
we gotta point out for the younger people,
mhm.
um, he was the dad. He was Mr. Ping, the duck that cooked
Oh, in the Kung Fu Panda.
in the Kung Fu Panda series.
Like, because of course he is. You know what I mean? He's such an OG. Like, you cannot do a movie without using him. Now, it might be that he's just super well connected, and they'd be like, "You're not using this guy. You are going to pay him." And so maybe that's how he got work for so long. But
He's
again, you
got
got to respect the man's
so
hustle if that's the
many.
case. Yeah, 459 credits is nothing to sneeze at. am starting late in the game. I've been working on a bunch of different concepts to get where I'm going. So I will never probably amass that many credits. So I definitely have to respect someone who had done and has. Um, let me call out real quick. The only weak point, in my opinion, in this cast is the one person that we both haven't mentioned, and that's the villain. And she is like a pop actress, if I remember right, or she's coming from somewhere. She is a known celebrity, and people do like her. I don't want to dog on her personally because I don't know her personally. The way that she does her performance, though, and the way that she fits into this really star-studded cast is not great, in my opinion. This is the only weak point in the film, in my opinion.
Yeah, but she's got 50 credits under her name so far.
Yeah, so she's well known, and
Um,
so I gotta respect
she
that.
started out in the series Dandelion on
Mm,
TV.
okay,
Don't know what that is.
I also
Then
don't
she
know.
was in the Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt. She was
Okay,
in an episode of that.
gotcha.
Um, she's really just getting. Oh, she was Sue in Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings.
Okay, gotcha. So she'd done the Disney as well. Yeah, and so that's what I know. Like I know I've recognized her, and like I know that people are definitely. And so she has a good agent. I know that. Working on set constantly and having people call you means that they like you and that you're easy to work with. And that's a big thing in Hollywood because they're putting movies out, and you have to be easy to work with, or people will not call you. So I respect that she's doing that, right? So that's not to dog on her personally. But I think versus the star-studded cast. And she's a young one. I think she probably it was a little intimidated, and she was trying to really be impressive in this movie, in a way that nobody else is. And so she stands out as the only one who's acting in a cast of people who perform. Does that make sense?
Yep. Yeah,
Um,
that makes sense.
yeah, like she is. Yeah, like and it's tough. I mean, this is a hard role. Do you want to kind of talk about the plot real quick? It's going to be tough to like sequence it, I think, because it's kind of all over the place. Um,
It really is, but
and we have a
basically,
crunch time because we have about a half hour to review this entire movie. But yeah, give me what your some break down the play by play or whatever, and I'll fill in with you. How's that?
um, Michelle Yao and her husband are owners of a laundromat,
Yeah.
and I think they're going to the tax office
Yeah, there's been some problems with the tax office too.
because,
That's where the only white
like,
person in the cast is.
that's where we get our first like hint at the big oh, this is our Deus Ex Machina type
Yeah, well,
thing,
let's
which
talk about
is
that real quick because it's
the
interesting how this movie
everything
is.
donut,
Yeah, well, everything on a bagel, the everything bagel. But yeah, but
everything bagel.
that's the thing about this
Sorry,
movie that's
it's a
interesting
bagel.
is that it starts out as just a regular family drama. There's a daughter who's trying to come out to her parents. There's the traditional Asian grandfather who they're celebrating his birthday or the Chinese New Year, so the Asian father is coming by. The laundromat is in trouble, so they're trying to get their taxes together. And so it's really, really interesting. That's the center
Yeah,
premise of the film. So it starts you there, and then all of a sudden it takes this really hard right turn where the guy who is this ordinary dude who's kind of a goofy guy, he all of a sudden like he turns into this superhero, and you're like, what the fuck just happened? And he's like, there's parallel alternate realities, and if you make the left instead of the right, you'll break reality, and then she starts to see both realities at the same time. And one of them is she's under investigation for this tax because she has all this potential that she never lives up to. And then the other one is that she's saving the multiverse from this hugely destructive force that turns out to be her daughter. Sorry, there you go. All right, so
yeah.
right.
Well, I
So I
think
can see how
it's
you'd be thrown. Is all
I
I'm getting
think
at.
the whole movie is a overall commenting. It's commenting on parenting.
In part, yeah, in part.
It's
How
commenting
generation,
on parenting and generational trauma,
how it's passed down,
and
exactly.
yeah, what you do to your kids, you're gonna do to your kid.
What was done to you, you're
Type of
gonna do to
stuff.
your kids.
Yeah,
Yeah. And one of the things that's interesting to me about this film, and one of the things I love about it, is that when you get to, and it's kind of overdone, in my opinion, also at the culmination, you're kind of tired at that point because it's moving around too fast, especially if you're ADD. I'm sure it's hard to follow this. But like what it gets to is that you have the freedom to break the generational cycle of trauma anytime you want to. And all you have to do is choose to be kind versus mad. But the story is very convoluted. Like this, the reason I wanted to review this movie after we did Death to Smoochie is because the heart of it is exactly the same. But again, you're like, dude, I was watching this on my phone, and there's a lot going on that happens in this movie. So I think that that's often missed with this. Are you laughing? I'm sorry. What did I miss?
Yeah, dude, this movie, I had to watch it in segments
Well,
because
then
I
there's.
like watch it for like 20 minutes and I'd just be like, oh Jesus Christ, I'm overloaded. I'm like, this movie was not made for autistic people.
It truly is not, because one of the things that happens, the part that we're talking about, she's being investigated by the IRS, and this dude out of nowhere starts doing kung fu with all these security guards and body slamming people. Later, right around the
Yeah,
corner from that, the daughter that was gay and is coming out is now beating people with rubber phallic objects that are like super long, and they're exploding into like confetti as she goes down the hallway, and her costume is constantly changing. Every time it cuts
that
back to her,
was.
she's wearing a different costume. So I can understand if you're ADD, you're like, the fuck, right? Like,
But I was just like, okay, overload. I'm like,
and
too much to process.
let's talk
Why
about
do they do this to us?
yeah, because it's supposed to, and this is the thing too. This is the thing about the climax of this movie too. It's supposed to overload you. It's supposed to make you stop resisting, stop, make your brain stop thinking. So you get to this point where you just like you kind of like ooze, so you can hear the message. Because what it does, you'll notice at the crescendo, is it does that same thing. They're cutting really quick through a bunch of multiple realities. It's cutting between her getting the taxes done, her being a famous person, her being in a reality where she's chasing Rakakuni, them being in a reality where they've got hot dog fingers and they're in love, them being in a reality where they're on top of the everything bagel, them being in a reality that suddenly pauses where they're two rocks, and they say nothing matters. And in
That
light of the
was the
fact
one
that
I was
nothing matters.
like,
Yeah, that's actually the moment that I laughed out loud. When it switched over from all that chaos to this absolutely serene moment of two rocks talking through text on the screen, and there's no words, there's no music, all you hear is the whispering, I died. I just lost my shit. Because I was like, like they did such a good job of working up this crescendo. It was like, I'm going to be a little bit vulgar, but I mean, this is adult talk for adult people. That like when you're like getting so excited during an act of, with another person that you love very much and it's intimate, and you like work up to that frenzy, and then it pauses because you get that little break. I was like, there's nothing you can do but laugh. They've written the perfect comedy in a kind of like orgasmic kind of way. I did it. I got us demonetized. I'm so sorry.
and no, I was the one that got us
We'll
demonetized
see. We'll see.
earlier.
We'll see what part they tag and how much we can get away with it. So that wasn't to be vulgar, but that was to talk about like I really see like comedy and like the act of intimacy being very closely tied to each other the way that they work, because that's what you want. That's why your joke was so good at the beginning, is because it kind of like builds up and retracts. It like builds up and then it retracts, and then it builds up and then
Okay,
right, and then it pays off. And so like yeah, so
that's
like
like
yeah.
that's like one of my other new jokes. I don't know if I'm going to be very funny tonight.
Why is
I
that?
just had to put one of my cats down.
Damn.
She was 18 years old and she had dementia really bad. Not the
Mm,
best quality of life.
yeah.
So I took her to the Chinese buffet. Saved about $400 and had one of the best meals I've had in 18 years.
My God, Dylan. Oh my God. You're madman.
It was
Uh,
cooked to perfection.
perfection, dog. Did you just perfection? Oh my
I
God.
got dark humor,
Oh
but
my
it,
God.
it's
That's fun.
That might get us demonetized.
I don't know if we weren't already. Yeah. So guys, check out Dylan Farr. Let's actually a great moment. Let's take a quick break. Just to call out, you could check him out on all his socials. Call them out real quick,
At
Dylan.
Autistic Spitfire Comedy on YouTube, Instagram, and TikTok. If you want to find me on Facebook, you can find me under my government name at Dylan Patrick Farr.
Yeah, so guys, definitely check him out.
Yeah.
There, like I said tonight, you can catch him at the Crumbly Cup. He's always doing stuff. You can also check out the stuff that we're doing for Cox and Space. This is a behind-the-scenes podcast for Cox and Space. If you didn't know, if you're on the Wigwags channel, you didn't know. And that's what we're doing. We're working on the animation for Cox and Space, which you can check out at coxandspace.com. You can either check out the video here or coxandspace.com. And if you head over there, you can help support us too, because we have the ability to buy merch. You can get connected with our Patreon. And so the biggest thing that helps us is just liking, commenting, and sharing these videos so that people can see them. Which, for you, that's, low cost. You just click a button, and we appreciate you. If you do like autistic
Click
people
the
talking about
button.
movies as we work on, a goofy cartoon about chickens in space.
If you don't click that button, there's going to be an army of short buses outside of your house in the morning.
And there's the threat. Dylan's going to raise the autistic army. That's really what we say when we say raise autistic awareness. Is that if you are not aware of the autists,
We're raising the army.
yeah,
We're
we're
raising
we're
an
we're coming
army.
we're coming for all of you. Because the thing about autistic people, by and large, is that we crave justice, and the less that we see it, the more we need it, and
No, no, no.
it
We
makes it.
crave justice.
There you go, Justice. Our name is Justice. And
Justice.
actually, that's how we
I
know
crave
Batman.
justice.
Batman is super autistic. Who else would
He's
choose to be
very
justice?
autistic.
He's so autistic.
How how else do you expect him to have all the gadgets? I want those. They're autistic gadgets. They're all just fidgets.
Yeah, exactly. He's hyper fixated. I've got to bring down the crime in the city. He struggles with interpersonal relationships. Not right now, Rachel. I've got to save the city. He doesn't want people to know his identity. He's masking pretty hard. It's a cowl, goddammit. Like all that shit. So, anyway, back to this. Maybe we should do a video where we discuss how autistic Batman is, or review a Batman movie with the idea that we're just demonstrating how he's autistic. The newest one would be great, actually. I would review the newest, the Batman with
With
Robert
with
Pattinson
Robert
in a
Pattinson.
heartbeat.
With
I
Robert
fucking love that movie.
Pattinson.
Actually, I need to put that on my list of films that are so great that
I'm
people should
pretty
view.
sure Robert's autistic.
Well,
He
also,
dated Kristen Stewart.
yeah, yeah. I think that they were like growing up, honestly, because I think that he saw that she was gay and she was like, "Would you please hang out with me so people will leave me alone?" He was like, "Absolutely. I fucking hate people too because it's awkward to be around them."
She's gay.
You didn't know, Kristen? Yeah,
I
I thought
don't I don't focus on celebrities very much.
Oh no, yeah, I think that there was a big thing that happened, and like that's where like I've seen her in a lot of her roles. I really do love Kristen Stewart, not for Twilight, but because of everything else she's done. Like I think she's a fantastic actress. I think that one of her breakout roles was something called Layer Cake, or maybe it's just called Cake. But yeah, no, she shows,
I
and
think
there's
she was in I think she was in Catch That Kid. Let
um,
me check.
well, she goes back quite a ways, and then if you watch her early work before Twilight and you watch her work after Twilight, also like Kristen Stewart, yeah, there's her performances are fantastic. She delivered exactly what was necessary for Twilight. That's what I'll tell you about that performance. The movie Twilight sucks. But she knew that, and she knew how it needed to suck, and she delivered exactly that, and it's really amazing. Actually, the two of them together
Yeah,
delivering the performances for those two roles, it's absolutely like for me, I'm like they recognized how bad the movie was, and they gave it exactly what it was supposed to have. It's astounding. Like I just I even
the
celebrate them
first
for
time
the performances in
the
Twilight.
first time I saw Kristen Stewart, and I didn't even know who she was at the time. It was in the 2004 movie Catch That Kid, about the kids that do a bank robbery to pay for the expenses and experimental surgery for the father of one of them.
See,
And
what a
like
great
they like break in with go karts and things like that. I'm like,
homie.
not very practical. Like they avoid the cops by like dropping like sharpened uh jacks so that it pops the tires.
That's
I'm
awesome.
like, okay, yeah,
Um, Yeah, no, and then also, I mean, okay, so she does that, right? She does Twilight, and then she plays Princess Diana most recently, or more recently, where it's the performance that has been widely celebrated as Princess Diana, just like understanding her breakdown and the pressure that she was under. Um, I mean, and she's a dead ringer for Princess Diana. Yeah, I mean, just again, Kristen Stewart. I would love to review Catch That Kid because I think that's the type of movie that we would enjoy quite a bit. That is a sick flick. Um,
it was a kids film. It was
Yes.
something, to it was like one of those, oh, kids need to be cool doing cool things. Like, this is our version of Fast and Furious type
Right.
bullshit.
Yeah, it was so funny though. Like Catch That Kid, but they're doing it because they're the same. They're Breaking Bad. Like that's the plot of Breaking Bad.
To pay for
To
surgery
pay
and
for
like
surgery.
help
Yeah.
someone.
Yeah, exactly. So funny. What a funny concept. Let's get back to this review real quick because I know that you have to leave in about half an hour, which gives us about 15 minutes to get down to the rest of this film. There's a lot of chaos that ensues. I would say that most of this movie is absolute silliness for the sake of silliness, but to prove the point, because it does come to that.
Yeah,
The daughter is collapsing. The ultimate dark version of the daughter is collapsing the multiverse because the mother had pushed her too hard. She wanted her to jump between multiverses, and she broke her mind in doing it. And so what she did is she stopped seeing one reality. She started seeing all the realities simultaneously. And then as she saw that, she began to realize that nothing mattered at all. And she began to put everything on top of an everything bagel just kind of out of boredom. And then it's created kind of this black hole that's like consuming everything. And that's why Short Round, the actor, has come from the timelines to try to find this Michelle Yao's
let's
character.
actually give his name
Thank
Kihu
you.
Kwan.
I'm so sorry. The reason I haven't said it is because I knew that I was going to mess up the pronunciation. And
Kihu
so,
Kwan.
yeah, Mr. Kwan, I do apologize. Um,
Kiwi. How
yeah,
do you?
I have a lot of
No.
respect. I'm so glad. Well, one of the things I remember, I think I remember, is that he said he stopped acting because of the racism, that you couldn't get roles that weren't stereotypical, and he's like, I'm such a better actor than this, and like so, like I deserve better than this, and mad respect because he could have done a lot more work coming up, but then he chose this role that really does show like how quality of an actor he is, because the variety of roles that he plays in this movie are amazing. He plays a very distinguished young actor. He plays the loving husband. He does his own stunts, as you can see. Um, you know what I mean? And he does all these things like so sincerely and genuinely. Like you never doubt for a moment that he is the people that he says that he is, which is the earmark of a good actor. Um, but yeah, so Mr. Kwan, thank you for reprising in this role. Yeah, it's
Kiwi. Kiwi Kwan.
Kwan. Okay, gotcha.
Hui. Hui.
Hui. Are you trying to get
Hui.
that?
Hui.
You trying to get the pronunciation?
HWEE would be the pronunciation like that there. It's
Right.
Kiwi Kiwi Kwan.
And this is why I love having Dylan on the show, because he'll make sure that we get these things correct for the actors that we respect and love. Um, and that is why. And so what that message to me? What do you? And that's the thing. That's where the whole thing centers around is that everything on the everything bagel because nothing matters. And then his response, Kwan's response, the husband in this film, and the way that he solves the IRS problem is the same way that he just treats the since nothing matters. His choice instead of giving up like the daughter is to be kind and silly in spite of
Mm.
everything.
Kind
And
and so.
And so that's what the movie is. Like it's kind and it's very very silly. Like there's no reason for her to jump to a reality where they have hot dog fingers and she's in love with the IRS agent and they're breaking up because she can't handle it. And they play piano with their feet. And the Ratatouille story exists because it's the way that Chinese moms will misinterpret the name of a movie, but then they actually take it very seriously, where they go so far as to do an animatronic raccoon so they could get the shot of like the raccoon sitting on the guy's head, like pulling his hair, like, and then crying from the back of the
Uh,
gates as
and
he
then
does like the
we
demon
we
claw
have
thing.
to point out who voiced Rakakuni as well.
Who voiced Ratatouille?
Let me see. Stupid ads.
Also, I
Go
think it's one of
away.
the funniest bits. Like I just laugh.
Randy Newman
Oh,
voiced
that's
Rakakuni.
that's the you're like he's got to be in this movie somewhere. I see him in the credits, and I was like, where is he in the credits? He's fucking Rakakuni.
The man that was most known for music for Monk, The Princess and the Frog, Toy Story 3, and Toy Story, all the Disney films that we love. He was the music guy for him. He was the conductor. He
But
was the
no, it is
writer
yeah.
of a lot of the
We're talking
stuff.
about musician Randy Newman. I don't know about some trouble I see. I'm sorry, that was a little bit more of like what's his name? Louis Armstrong. But yeah, you got a friend in me, Randy Newman. You got a friend in me. Sure people ain't got no reason to live. Randy Newman.
How about I love LA?
Yeah, exactly. Fucking Randy Newman. Oh,
That
why did you
that
do this
was
again?
one of the that was one of the earliest times I remember hearing him was in Volcano. 1996's Volcano with Tommy
Okay.
Lee Jones.
Oh, interesting.
They
That
played
is
I
fucking
Love
good.
LA in that song. Yeah. I
uh,
love that movie. I don't care what anyone says. It was a fun
it
film.
is a fun movie. I just had totally forgotten Tommy Lee Jones was in a movie called Volcano. I've seen it. I definitely it was on the like summer flicks of like going to the theater to go see Volcano, and we rented it later too. Because I definitely, I mean, it was an appropriate movie for my age group, and so Volcano is definitely a movie.
It was a
Um,
great film for
but
for its time, you know. For
yeah,
its time, it
and
was a
disaster film.
great
Yeah,
little like disaster film.
yeah.
But
But
then we also, in that same year, we had Dante's Peak. We had dueling
Oh,
volcano
that's
movies
right. That's why it's often confused. I forgot which one. Yeah, and I know that I'd seen both, and I actually forget
with
which what
Pierce
events.
Brosnan.
Yeah, what events occurred, which movie.
Yeah, my mom loves that man.
Pierce Brosnan. He does have very
Yeah, my
symmetrical
mom.
features, which is a sign of beauty to for most people because it's aesthetically
I'll
beautiful.
do you one better. I used to confuse Pierce Brosnan with Simon Cowell.
They similar features, almost exactly similar features until Simon got all that work done. Um,
Yep.
and Pierce Brosnan aged gracefully. Um, no dog on Simon Cowell, you idiot. Why would you ruin your face like that? Sorry. I didn't mean to
A
do that.
lot of a lot of Hollywood people do that.
Well, it's just the insecurity of like I'm getting old and I want my face to still look tight, but like, age take care of your body, So being an alcoholic will make your face sag and bulge like it did, Simon. So sorry, I'll say alcoholics, Jesus, please. Take care of yourselves. So this movie, but like coming
You're
back to this
gonna
movie.
you're gonna have you're gonna have an entire recovery meeting outside your house later.
Yeah, well, if you
They're
guys want to
gonna be like,
comment
"We
about
heard
why
you
why
was
drinking is
talking
fine.
shit."
Yeah, why drinking is fine. But like, like I just, you look at people who have drunk for a long period of time, like celebrities, some celebrities, and the way that their faces blowed out and they hold all that fluid because they pickled themselves. You know what I mean? I think Pierce Brosnan is a great example of aging gracefully because it appears as if he's taken very good care of his health. He's worked out. He's tried to remain de-stressed. He's had like a healthy family life. He's eating good food. You know what I mean? Like that shows up in his skin. So when you look at him as an older man, you're like, wow, look at him. Like look at he didn't seem to need it. He still grows a fine beard. His skin looks fine. Maybe it's genetics.
We're
Maybe
gonna have to review Mars Attacks as well.
I do love Tim Burton, and that is a very fun movie. I think that a lot of people are seeing it less than they did when we were around. So, is that related? Because Pierce Brosnan is in that movie.
Yes,
Oh, I
he
forgot.
is.
There's so many funny little cameos in that movie. Um, Sarah Jessica Parker is, of course, a classic as a Chihuahua. Um, that such a funny bit. Anyway, and
No,
last,
no. She's herself at first, and then the aliens take her and switch the Chihuahua head to her body, and her head to the Chihuahua body.
yeah. So at one point in the film, it's her body, her head walking around the Chihuahua body making comments. It's the funniest thing. Like, and also the CG at that time, like we're gonna have to take a look at it because in my imagination it's fantastic, but I can't imagine Tim Burton's special effects are holding up at all, just given where we are in history. But yeah, let's
Well, I'm sorry. Practical effects were always better.
yeah,
Hundred
obviously, but
percent,
how
always
how do you
better.
how do you do a practical effect with a Chihuahua head on a body? But we will get to that review
Well,
absolutely.
you just
We
actually do the Chihuahua head on the body.
Yeah, I mean, you just do the Russian experiment
Fuck
that
those
they.
Chihuahuas.
Sarah Jessica Parker's last role was as a Chihuahua when they did the head transplant, so she could do the role. Unfortunately, Sarah did not survive. So so just she needs a horse-sized heart to support that head. It was low hanging fruit.
We're going to hell for
I went
some of
for
our
it. I went for
commentary.
it. There's a whole podcast where we discuss the thoughts on Sarah Jessica Parker. It's deep in the lore, so you guys can find it if you want to. But let's we are getting kind of into the last like 15 minutes or so of this, so let's kind of like wrap up the review of this movie. The movie ends in a very interesting. So it's very chaotic because there's this fight on the stairs where the Michelle Yao has realized that she can live up to any potential universe that she wants to, which is really interesting transformation for the character. And then she starts changing the reality. Sorry, ADD friends, quickly. And making people just do like their ultimate fantasy, which for a lot of them turns out to be ultra kinky, as it has been through the film. So that part is like not safe for kids, just in case you were wondering.
This whole movie was just ultra kinky. Okay,
Yeah, well, the thing is that it's funny because it's not like actual kink, but it's like playing with kink and how it's like fun to like do that sort of stuff is my sort of thing. Like I don't think it's any way like raunchy because it's not explicit, but there's like you find a person's closet hidden
except
in the background.
until
There's like there's definitely like
until she whips out the two
yeah, the
battle
double-headed
the
phalluses, but so she doesn't do anything with it except for like beat people up with it. You know what I mean? Like she's more like it's a gag more than it is like a thing. And the same thing with this, like she gets people together as couples, and but like it's sort of like the same way that you would see like at the end of a comedy, like they kiss because it's silly, not because it's erotic, kind of thought. Like
right.
that, everybody's free. The man's in his bondage, and he's wearing his gag because he loves it, not because he's being, abused. Um, so like it's more campy. It's more like a drag show than it is like a bondage show. If there's a heavy kink distinction needed. Um, I don't know why I felt the need to extrapolate on that, but I wanted to say the word strap, I guess. Um, anyway.
You would.
Jokes. So yeah, but they resolve but the movie, after all of that craziness, resolves in the same way that it began, which I think I really appreciate. Where the IRS agent understands why she's going through all that stress, because they were going through this tumultuous time. The man wants to divorce his wife only because he can never. There's all this like potential that she's never living up to, and he's just tired of how she's always unhappy with things. She addresses her daughter, and she lets her know that like she's okay with who she is, but she's still gonna have her opinions. And she's allowed to as a grown up to have her opinions. And that they're gonna work.
Christ, this movie is about my recovery at this point. Jesus
Well,
Christ.
so and that's what I love about this movie is that I think that it like hits the heart of humans in a lot of ways. Like the movie's really, really silly. And it's overwhelming to watch. And, like I can't imagine if you're watching on the big screen and trying to sit through this movie because you'd probably be like vibrating in your chair, right? Um, because of just how overstimulated you'd be. But like at the heart of it, it's about just like how we deal with ourselves and how we deal with each other on a regular basis. And the husband, Mr. Kwan's, the roles, the lines that he's given is, we just be kind. Right, we have our adversaries coming
Yep.
after us. This IRS agent, and she says, "You're so
You
foolish. Why
just
did you
be
bake her?
kind
Why did you,
rather
yeah? Why
rather
did you bake
than
her
be
cookies?"
violent.
Yeah, he's like, because kindness wins, and that's kind of what wins the daughter over too. Is that she's still they decide they'll be kind to each other, um, and that's what resolves. I think in the conclusion of the movie is that every portion of the multiverse collapses except for the one that they're in because they choose to let that one exist. But it's more hinted at than it is like actual. Um, so,
So
I,
they
I
killed a bunch of people
but they
to
did,
make
yeah.
themselves
In
happy.
a bunch of realities, there's a bunch of people who are very dead. Um, a lot of violence occurred. But like for me, that's why I love this movie. Is I think that like it lands in such a sweet and soft spot. I love that it's surreal. For that, like it's definitely not your usual family drama. But then it fully justifies its own story. And so like I'm like that I can appreciate, that I can respect a lot as a film. And that's what makes movies interesting to me is that you get to see something you've never seen before, and then they show you something that you can empathize with, right? Both of those things, in my
Yep.
opinion, have to
This
exist.
wasn't. I see why people like this movie. It wasn't a movie for me.
100%, yeah, and
I'm
that's
gonna
that's one
be
thing we say.
completely honest.
Remember when we were talking about My Name is Bruce? Um, the our co-host at the time was objecting about the quality of the film, right? And both of our counterpoint was, yeah, that's what we love about the film is like its overall cheesiness. That's like if you want a cheesy film, you see My Name is Bruce. That's why it exists. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so for this one, I'm like, if you want to see a very cerebral like philosophy film that also lands well with a good heart, and a lot of like just over the top silliness. Like that's why you would watch this film. That's why I would recommend this. If people don't like that, like I don't recommend this film to my mom because she doesn't like this type of film either. She'll get lost in the plot and not follow it all the way through and not enjoy the ride. She'd be like, "Why are there double-headed phalluses being thrown up? Why does the confetti? Like it doesn't make sense." And the justification, which is because of silliness, is like, well, then stop wasting my time, so
Yeah.
you know what I mean? So I get it. This is not everybody's film. But these are all the reasons I love it. So besides being overwhelming, what else was it that you're like, what unseated you with this film? Or overall impressions in general is awesome.
One of the things that really bugged me was she had to give herself paper cuts between the
Oh
webbing
my
of her
God.
hands
Yeah, we
at
didn't
one point.
we didn't
Like
really
there's
talk
things
about.
like that. There's things like that to get in touch with the other universes, and I'm
Yeah,
like,
the eating of the chapstick.
I'd
Some of the
rather.
stuff they do is so tactile, it does make me uncomfortable too. You are correct. Please keep sharing.
It was just, it was just a strange movie for me.
Yeah, that will definitely make you uncomfortable. Yeah, because there is one point where yeah, that is the case. The hot dog fingers thing for me is something that I don't know why it makes me so uncomfortable too, and I know they're doing it on purpose. Like that is 100% the reason that they jump to a reality that's so nonsensical. It's hot dog fingers. Um, but like it does. Like I'm just like just the sensation of wiggling those things around and having them there. You can't use them for anything. Um, yeah, same thing.
Well, I hate to say it, but she was in a lesbian relationship.
Oh yeah,
Why
and she.
couldn't they use the hot dog fingers?
I mean, they do seem perfect, right?
That's
For slapping
thinking.
and tapping.
Yeah,
Yeah, it doesn't seem like a negative at all. It's an object that you can definitely insert deep and ride hard. Wow, that was way graphic. I am so sorry. We did not. We're demonetized. So, friends, now it's up to you. We've gotten ourselves in the corner by being dumbasses, and by me, I mean me. and you're
We're
gonna have
both
to. You're
dumbasses. I
gonna
will take part of the blame happily. I am a dumbass certified. I
you
went to dumbass university.
you're
And
gonna have
for
to
those
fund
of
us
you that
if you want to
think,
keep this show
for,
going. Is what I'm saying.
for
Because
those of you that think the name is Dumas, it's
yeah, it's
dumbass.
dumbass. Yeah, that's not French at all. It's actually just living up to it. It's all in good fun, of course, because as a friend of mine likes to say, well, God wouldn't make it so fun if it was a sin. Um, and I agree with that philosophy within a certain context and bounds. Both people are consenting adults, and
Yeah, because there's some things
are
that
taking.
people have fun with that definitely they shouldn't have fun with.
Yeah, and
And
also, that both people should really, they should enjoy each other's company at the very least. You know what I mean? Like, that's where it's healthy, is where you're like, I love you. At least I appreciate you. Like, I respect you as a person. So you don't hurt each other. That's the only thing I'm getting at. So, consenting adults that don't hurt each
we
other.
have a new co-host.
Yeah.
Her name is Luna. She is 18 years old.
Hi, Luna. There she is. What a little cutie. Um, so yeah, so
She's got her little harness on. Gives a whole new meaning to walk the cat because walking your cat and walking your cat are two different things.
hmm. I've never heard that. What I assume is a euphemism, before. But
Walking your cat. Walk like the Chinese walk.
oh, walking. Oh, geez, back to the. You got it. Yep. So please fund us, guys.
Walking your cat and walking your cat are two different
They
things.
are very, very different things. You only walk your cat after they're getting old and they need to pass, and you're looking for a tasty
A
dish to
good
replace
meal.
them. Yeah, a tasty dish to replace them with. Yeah, so yeah, overall, I think this movie is pretty well respected, and I think there's a good reason to respect it. As with things that are well respected, they're not for everybody. Don't sweat that if you don't enjoy this movie. There are some very, very strong performances overall, in my opinion, and I love that this movie. There are two. There are several white people in this subcast, but there's one main white character, and then there's another secondary white character, and that's kind of it. Um, and it's not treated strange. Like they're just regular people. They're Americans who live in this country and have struggles. And to me, that's what, like, representation is really important. But it's not that representation is done for representation's sake, but these characters, their story is told for particular reasons to them. Like, their culture is the reason that things are motivated. I think that,
Yeah.
like, generational trauma in Chinese American culture is real. It's something that this is where this is coming from. This is
Like
the story is based in.
like I think generational trauma comes to everyone.
Yeah.
And sometimes we don't even realize it until it happens. Like until we're the ones causing more trauma. We don't realize, hey, this is how our parents did things with us, and now we're doing it this way.
Yeah, and I would like to
It's
point
a
out
never
too,
ending cycle.
in 2026, that what they're saying is something that we need to hear. The life of people who migrate, of foreigners in this country, simply for not knowing the language and trying to make it work anyway, is really hard. And that is part of the struggle. And part of it is that, the struggle that the daughter has is that she doesn't know where she fits in because her culture is across the ocean, but she's American. So who is she is a big question. Um, you know, so to have her,
Some
like,
people would say American is a lack of having culture.
in some ways, because it is a very new a very new country. So what does it even mean to be American? In a lot of ways, a foreigner can't fit into what the American dream is, because being American is being a white male cowboy. In a lot of people's minds. So, like, where do you fit in that is kind of a difficult question.
I think my understanding of being an American is being successful when things don't end up going the way you want them to, but
Yeah,
you fight through adversity and you come out on top. That's
hun-
what being an American is
100%.
to me.
Yeah, and that's that rugged individualism, and what I'm defining as like the cowboy mentality, and the whole
Okay.
J John Wayne thing, but that's again that's a white male thing in a lot of ways. That's what the ideal is, and but I agree with your definition. I believe that being an American means working hard and having a government that rewards hard work. Um, for that takes care of the needs of those who can't take care of themselves, and we all work hard to better our culture, our society, and our country. We all work for that. Um, I don't pledge allegiance to a flag, but I pledge allegiance to my family and my community and my state and the country as a large. I want to make it better for everyone who lives here, and that means regardless of gender, regardless of race, regardless of skin color, regardless of orientation, regardless of age, or regardless of disability, that means for everyone, everyone, everyone. So yeah, I agree with you, Dylan. I agree that that actually is what an American is, but I think that the reality of the situation, as we see it, especially in 2026, is uh, white individualist males are the ones of what the ideal of America is, and that doesn't include women, that doesn't include gay people, that doesn't include people of color, that doesn't include old people, elderly, disabled people, and it should. Soapbox over. Back to you, my guy.
Mm. When it comes to being disabled, it's a lot different.
Well, and
'Cause,
yeah, right? You agree. As a person who's
like,
part of one of those groups,
I'm on disability, and you know, I can't get married.
what?
I can't. I could, but they definitely slash my benefits. It'd make things harder.
That's wild.
It would make things harder for me to be married to someone.
Yeah, and so right, like as a person who's like part of one of those groups, even though you belong to all the other groups, right? You're the cis white male. Um,
Yeah,
that yeah, like just belonging to one of those groups is enough to disqualify you. So you begin to feel the benefits, and then so again, like if you disable black female as an example, where you're like now out of three of those groups, or queer disabled black female, now there you begin to really feel the disparity that is America, and there's not enough hard work that you can do from that position in a lot of people's minds, and I think that is a shame. It should be actually that we work for each other, that we all work as hard as we can. We recognize that we all
yeah,
have different levels and abilities. That everybody has value if we recognize what the value is. But everyone has inherent value, and it's not capitalist
I agree with that.
value. I don't think being capitalist is what it means to be American. I believe that hard work pays off culturally and in society, um, as we have public libraries, as we have roads that we can all drive, as we have fire departments that make sure that houses don't get burned down and people's pets get saved. And that's for everybody, right? We have police forces that don't like focus on different segments of the population to kill, you know, uh, that they serve and protect everyone equally and fairly. Uh,
Yeah,
yeah. So again, yeah. So I agree.
uh,
Yeah, America, fuck yeah.
America.
And that really does tie into the theme of this movie. You know what I mean? Like, in a universe that is rough, cold, and indifferent to us, and in a culture that feels the same way in a lot of ways, the only way we can do anything about it is by recognizing that we have free will and to act in it, and in that we're not overpowered. We have the ability to choose to be kind. And that's why I love Everything Everywhere All at Once, the movie from 2022, ranked 7.7 on IMDb, is because it has that message at the heart of it. In the heart of all the silliness is that, like beauty is everywhere and choose to see it. Please choose to see it. So,
I like this movie. It was overloading at a
oh
lot of
yeah,
points.
again, 100%, right? Like
It
it
was
was
a fun movie,
intentionally.
don't get me wrong. Like the idea of being able to like tap into other selves and like get like cool powers, that's fucking cool.
Yeah, the alternate realities version of this movie, that's the part that really sold me on it. That's why I wanted to see it from the beginning, because I was like, you want to talk about the multiverse in a really fun and cool way? Like, I'm down, let's do it. Um, yeah, So for that, but
I
again, yeah.
think Deadpool said it best though that the multiverse it's played out at this point, you know.
Uh,
I gotta say
yeah.
Deadpool had a point because everyone's using it now. It's like a constant like fixture in a lot of media now is multiple universes.
Well, I think that yeah, and that's because quantum mechanics is again so new to us. I say again, I've had this thought. I have not shared it with you, but quantum mechanics is so new to us, and so we do really find it interesting and fascinating how free will interacts with the universe, and how if things are constant in the universe, how we have any effect on it whatsoever. And I think that's fair in this movie, although the multiverse is played out. Concepts of the multiverse are probably we'll probably stop exploring it because it'll become passe and has become passe. But still, I'd love when the idea is asserted that in the multiverse that seems to be tumultuous, that seems to be overwhelming, that you're just one insignificant speck within that, right? You choose your universe. You make
Yeah.
the universe be what you want it to be, um, for yourself because you're the
You
only one who can
can't
make
change
you
the
happy.
world, but you can make a dent.
Do you see how these movies are connected to each other? How I was like, man, Death to
Yeah.
Smoothie and Everything Everywhere All at Once. They're just like, they're cousins. Not the same and told in a very different way. But yeah, so that is fantastic. Did we choose which movie? Are we watching Lars and the Railgun next week?
I thought we were watching Big Trouble in Little China.
Let's watch Big Trouble in Little China. I think eventually we should review it at some point. But let's watch Big Trouble in Little China. It will be fun. A fun review.
It's a great movie,
It
you know,
is,
especially like
and
just the practical effects and stuff mixed
mhm.
with some of the early CGI and the camera effects. It works.
Young Kurt Russell is really really fun. I mean, right now he's in the MCU and in a bunch of different movies, playing like anti-hero roles because of movies like Big Trouble in Little China. He's already done it. He's already done the work.
Yeah.
And so now he's looking to do interesting work. I do love Kurt Russell. I don't know if he's a good guy or not, so I don't know if I endorse him, but I do love his performances. Uh, they are very. He is very iconic. He's very reliable. He seems to be a pretty nice guy. So uh, I of course say that in the era of the Epstein files, where I'm like, is he actually a nice guy, or has he just been pretending? I don't know. It's hard to endorse
Yeah.
anybody at this point because you're like, a lot of people are not great. It turns out, and a lot of your heroes they've been not great, and they've just been really good at hiding it. So.
Oh
Um,
yeah.
I mean, I should
All right.
I say the Epstein era, but I mean also like this started with Bill Cosby too. Like one of your favorite dads was definitely not a good dude. It sounds like you need to go, Dylan. You ready to wrap this up?
Yes, I do.
All right.
Yes, I do.
Well, guys, thank you so much for catching Sick Flicks with Dylan and Skip. We have reviewed Everything Everywhere All at Once. This is a behind the scenes podcast for Cox and Space. You can check that out at coxandspace.com to get more of the information. You can always like, comment, share this video. And we're going to be doing this pretty much on Fridays in the mornings if you like to check it out. And then anytime afterwards, obviously, you can tune in. If you want to check out Dylan, of course, check out Dylan on all his socials.
M- Instagram, YouTube, and TikTok at Autistic Spitfire Comedy, and you can find me under my government name at Dylan Patrick Farr on Facebook.
Yeah, so guys, check out the Crumbly Cup tonight if you are tuning in right now on the 17th of April. If not, he's going to be back there too. He's in the Toledo area.
It's
He's
actually a sold out show.
oh my God, so you're not going to be able to catch it. But yeah, so and Dave Crumbly in that area is fantastic. So if you have the chance to check those out,
Yeah,
guys, do that.
definitely.
For those of you who recovered, keep at it. Remember, it's one day at a time. Choose to be kind.
Yes, one day at a time.
It's a choice, and that's
Easy does it.
kind to yourself also. So make sure that you are
Yeah.
kind to yourself and to other people because both of those are necessary. Self-care is the only way to spread happiness across the universe. So, uh, love you guys, and we'll see you all later. Bye.
Bye.